You dancing extra morning. We back again. You knew we was coming. I know you didn't think I was gonna stop. Oh, it's too many rappers to cover. I can't. I'm just getting cracking. Today. Happy New Year, first of all. We are out of that crazy ass 2020. Welcome 2021. I knew the year was gonna be fucked up when Kobe died. When Kobe went out, I was like, oh, it's all downhill from there. R.I.P. to Kobe. MC Shy D. I only heard of this guy when I was researching the history of hip hop. You know, he pops up here in '87. He comes from the Bronx, New York. Shout out. What up? I think in the '80s, I think at '87, the Bronx was something crazy. They gentrifying everything now, so I'm sure it's a totally different ball game going on. Luke Skywalker. I can't even say that. It's because I've been sipping Luke Skywalker Records. And that's Uncle Luke, you guessed it. And I was wondering, I'm like, this dude is from the Bronx, and Uncle Luke is Miami. I guess Uncle Luke was like, yo, I'm gonna go grab me a up north rapper so y'all take us seriously, because I knew it was a thing with, you know, the down south sound trying to like win over the north. We know Uncle Luke for the ass shaking, you know. I'm guessing this might be the direction of this. The album I'm doing today is Got to Be Tough. This came out on Luke Records. But it's Uncle Lukey, baby. Luke Skywalker Records is under Atlantic, which is under Rhino, which is under, you know. We got kind of Uncle Luke's direction with this one, but you got a, you know, New York Bronx MC. So I'm curious to see the fusion that's going on here and what, you know, Uncle Luke's vision was with bringing this out. MC Shy D is essentially a rookie right here in '87, so he's just coming out. This is like a new artist. Do I have to tell you I have my we're not even gonna mention it. Somebody was saying that they don't like it, but you know what time it is. You can't come to the Basement Junkies and think it's just gonna be all, you know, clear eyes and shit around here. Producers, DJ Man, well, I have no clue who that is, but we about to learn about you today. Rodney Cooley, I think that's his name. If I'm mispronouncing you, please get at me on the network, and then I can correct it. I'm excited to see what y'all got. You know, I've been listening to other '87 records, and I got a flavor of one side. I like to get some more, but so far it's been a lot of New York influence. Obviously, that's the birthplace of hip hop, at least in America. Hip hop has existed since Neanderthals, since, you know, cavemen. Hip hop has been around. This is not new. Hip hop is rubbing sticks together to make fire. That's hip hop. It's the action. I got 47 minutes to listen to of Shy D. 12 tracks. So I love it when, you know, like the first song on this joint is I've Got to Be Tough, which is the name of the album. So I always love it when, you know, you get the song that's attached to the name of the album. It's almost like in a movie when they say the movie name in the movie. I love that shit. You be waiting for it almost. You're like, okay, yep, I knew it was coming.
Everything I say, you know, is fuck XCD, and I gotta be tough.
All right, so Earth, Wind, and Fire, he sampled Earth, Wind, and Fire on this. You Got Me at Hello. That's like the GOATs. You talking R&B, soul music. Those are like the pillars. Black people know. For white people, that's like Black people's Grateful Dead. Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you sampled that, you got me. You got me already from that. This beat is dope too. I love the melodic vibes he brought in with that. So I don't know who came out first. I get the cadences and the vibes on this, like the way he's rapping. It feels like Rob bass. You know, it takes two to make. I don't know who came out first between them. I gotta see which one came out first. Fire, fire, yeah. The way he come in on his verses though is hard. Like no matter what he's saying, the way his lead in See, I'm an actor, so they call it lead-ins. The way you lead into your lines, the way he leads in, crazy. You know what I mean? He coming he got the aggression. You know, he got that speed, that wit that you want to hear. You be like, okay, what you got? You know what I mean? He's got that party starter voice. This is interesting. He shouted out Run DMC. He said, Run DMC is my favorite group. And you never hear this in today's hip hop. You never hear artists today in his song and on his first album shouting out his favorite group. He gave it up. You know what I mean? On his first song, on his debut record, he said, "Yo, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, my favorite group right now is Run DMC." It matters, man. You gotta give love to the forefathers. You can't just think, "Oh, you the dopest rapper." Like, where you get your raps from? Well, how you get your style, your flow? It's always a derivative. Damn, and he like really giving them love. He like spent more time. He's like, I admire them. Like, I see you, MC Shy D. You was giving it up. That I recognize that sample. Even though I wanna see how you put that thing on me. I can't let you. Whatever song was sampled on that, that's what. This is like early, way early. This is probably the first people who sampled it, or the song it was sampled from. Yeah, so far the hooks on this, just from one and two, the samples is beautiful. Clearly a Run DMC baby, you know, from the flow. You know, it comes a time where a group came through and just like changed how you rap. Clearly, Run DMC set the precedent for the '80s. Is like how you gonna evolve this rap style. He's got the Run DMC cadence, and it seems like he's slowly trying to stretch it here. Definitely a lot of stunt raps and a lot of passing it to the DJ. Just make you want to have the big fat ass block cell phone. I mean, that's how you feel. You just won't be in a whip. Even if you ain't got a phone, you probably had something that looked just like a phone just to flex. Never let Shawty get in the car. Because then she could see it's a fake phone, but just be like, hold on, dog, let me hit you back. What's up, baby? How you been? How you been? You from around here? What's your name? The way it ends is so dope. He's got the like, it almost sounds like some Andy Griffin whistles mixed with the little breakdown Miami beat. Oh, it's cold the way that joint ends.
Yo, DJ Man, are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. Party people in the place. Yo, I'm here to say that my DJ is blowing all the way.
So definitely at this time, like I say, it was all about shouting out your DJ. This whole record is just shouting out the DJ. You gotta let the DJ get his flex on something. He's gotta show his mixability, but that show you what the culture was at that time. That's what mattered. It was, I think this is an early time where the flow is starting to matter, and what you're saying is kind of starting to matter. Like, it didn't always matter what you said, like the actual words that you said in hip hop, but this is a time where people are starting to put more accurate messages in it. So I guess the Two Live Crew is involved on this because he's shouting out the Two Live Crew on this. So I'm sure Uncle Luke hooked that up, and just they probably heavily influenced on this, way more than I even realized. But yeah, shout out to the Two Live Crew. The like this y'all and the yes y'all was probably the biggest things I guess you could say. It's party starter terms. Yes y'all. The beat y'all. Man, very simple beat. I love boom bap, just simple beats. All this is like a nigga just beating on the wall, boom, 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 and somebody in the back just shaking something like like just a can of rice. Whatever you got, just make a sound and somebody rap on it. That's what this is. So he gave me something. He said, I used to live in the Bronx and now in Decatur. So he telling them, yo, I ain't here to fight y'all niggas. I'm here to show love and give a little bit of this New York flavor. Let's keep this PC. He shouted out Bambaataa. Let me shout out, forefather hip hop, African Bambaataa, showing the love. Gotta see his face, see that man. He matters. Just know that. So he said he been hip hop since '75, and he shouting out Cold Crush Brothers. He shouting out the Furious Five, and early hip hop guys. So you could tell like it didn't get on wax until the 80s. Before that, it was on the street. So he talking about 75. So what he talking about was before records was even, out. So he literally shouted out everybody that mattered at the who's like the genesis of the shit. Yeah, it's a dope song. You got to listen to this song because it spits a lot of knowledge. Like he's putting a lot of hip hop history down on wax. He switches the beat up at the end. This is way before Drake, nigga. Like this, he switched the beat up midway. It was like, hold up, gang, 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 and came in with just some different shit. At the age of 7, I thought I was 11. I was fucking on the stage. You gotta listen to this song for the last verse on this joint. If you don't care for any of the record, just go to the last verse. You will be entertained. There it is. There it is. Another song of just a whole mix, just instrumental, but a mix of different sounds and rhythms coming in. It's called Shy D's Theme. So I'm guessing this is like his theme music. So it's that shit they play with. They be like, Shy, you about to go on? He be like, yo, they ready? Go ahead and throw on my thing, baby. I'm gonna be ready. Take about 5 more minutes. And he come out at the end of that motherfucker, probably 2-stepping. I can see it right now. Yeah, but it's called Shy D's Theme. Straight, just mix. And I'm sure people in the 80s appreciated that. Because then they get to like probably rhyme on it. That's stuff that rappers will pick, like, oh, I'm gonna rhyme on that because it's just space. You know what I mean? And some breakdown or a mix if you can rhyme on it, but not everybody can rhyme on a mix like that. A lot of different sounds in it though. It feels like a cookout. It's a little DC flavor in there. It's a little Miami flavor in there. Georgia flavor in there. It's a lot of different flavors in this mix. I'm not just a mix guy. People who love mixes, you'd like this one. This is a pretty good like cultural mix. Oh yeah, this one of those gritty inner city, stories. The name of the song is Paula's on Crack. Paula's on the pipe. We already know where that's going. He is not holding no cut cards from the rip. When you on the crack, you selling anything. Mama's TV, the computer, the kids' video games, the couch. You come home and won't have a couch for crack. That's how that works. If you got a crackhead living with you, you might not have a refrigerator. You keep fucking around. If they got friends, you might not have like your bed. Your bed might be gone. You gotta remember, this is right when crack was blowing up the hood. So if you're a rapper around this time and you're not talking about crack, you might be just outside of it. You know about it, and you got family members. It was no way you was black in the inner city and it didn't affect you. So for him being from the Bronx, 87, yeah, New Jack City.
When you're talking about Burger King, McDonald's, we can go over here where they say the tabs are $100, drink Dom Perignon.
This is his rock attempt. Seems like they'll throw one out there, the token rock song on the hip hop album. It's the attempt to just I'm gonna reach you one time. I'm gonna hit everybody with a jab. This is his first album, and he's already talking about how he can't stand the attention. Yeah, you better buckle up, 'cause you can get a lot of that. Definitely feels like Beastie Boys influence for sure.
One for the night, two for the day. Let them know that we don't play. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right about this time we play.
Yeah, so we don't play. He's basically being a rapper for his DJ. So he's like talking shit about other DJs, like on behalf of his DJ. And then he was probably like, yo, write some rhymes for me, man. Say some shit for me. Get at these niggas. Let them know that my scratches is crazy. Bang, bang, bang. You can tell whoever produced this, Luke and them boys, and they got a good ear for music, old school music, and bringing in those samples.
What's this? Y'all want this party started, right? Y'all want this
Once again with the samples, man, you're killing me. The samples are great. I'm a sample baby. You know, sampling kind of dragged me into hip hop because I was like, oh, you can stretch the sound like that.
Cut in yellow.
This is the second part two on the album. Like I said, it's two part twos. See, once again, just another record where he's shouting out the past. That's why it's called Rap Will Never Die, because like he saw where it came from, he see where he's pushing it to, and he's just shouting out all of the people that came before him and their story. I feel you, my nigga. I'm scared too. He talking about how scared. The hook on this is I'm scared. He talking about getting on the plane. I feel the same way. I still ain't got over that. I look at the babies. If there's a baby on board, I'm looking right at the baby or the stewardess, and I'm always looking at the stewardess emotions and how they moving around. And you know, I don't look at how they talking to me. I look at how they talking to each other. If the rhyme really ain't his code, he wins with just being hilarious sometimes. Yo, I bet if any young person put this song on, they will love it. Young people will really love this song today. This is actually brilliant, and he's done it a couple times where like I would have never expected that, but it's clever. He's clever.
Just throw your hands in the air. No wave like this don't care. You ready for a party and
This record, it doesn't seem like a record that would close a project. Uh, I mean, it's very upbeat. I guess they want to send you off in this super, dancey mood. This song could have worked, somewhere earlier in the album for me. 12 up, 12 down. Album concept and theme for me, it adds up. Got to be tough. He's talking very tough on this thing, but not super street tough like he gonna kill somebody, but tough on the records like I'm the hardest out. Hip hop tough, the way you should talk tough on a record. He's definitely talking that with always reminding you of his toughness as an MC and his DJ's toughness as a DJ. Very simple concept. You got to be tough. He's coming from the streets, Bronx kid. He's just showing, you got to be tough in the streets, you got to be tough in the industry. I've definitely heard better concepts and better themes. It's pretty simple, but you got to remember this is very early hip hop. It's for that time. It's a decent concept and theme, and the youth I'm sure connected with that, because that was the mantra. If you was young in '87, I'm sure you was like, damn, yeah, I do gotta be tough. Oh man, fly though. I don't know what that is he's standing on. It might be a speaker or something, but oh man, Loki got the like leather kufi, you know what I mean? With the chain, my man got the chain on, with the track outfit, with the old school whip in the background, player shit, you know what I mean? I could tell probably Uncle Luke told him, like, put the player shit in the background. In off shell blue, sky baby blue. Put that on him. He just got the mug on, he like, yeah. The color schemes, if you look at the color schemes off of what he wearing and the wall behind him with the shell, and he got on the black with the blue, the color schemes, it's tasteful, you know what I mean? It's got an old school look to it. It tells a bit of a story to it if you really get to reading everything that's behind him, and but his face is telling you what it all the way is. Production, it won me over in a weird way. These samples on this, he got about 4 or 5 samples on this that you almost have to listen to the record sometimes, because it's like, or you'll be entertained by the record, because it's kind of very basic, mediocre hip hop beats on it. But when he bring those samples in, it brings the life to it, because the samples have so much, instrumentation and things that we familiar with in it. But once he bring that in, it changes. It's not the craziest sampling. I've heard better sampling for sure. Sounds good. The music sounds really good. It's no drop off in levels of, volume and the way it beats. Very creative. Some of the mixes, you could tell that it's 2 different waves going on this record. The up north wave with Shy D, he brings that flavor, and then you have Uncle Luke and his team's influence on a lot of it, like New York sounds mixed with, Miami sounds. So it creates a beautiful little fusion sometimes. And those are two sounds that, are very kind of different. On the rhyme side and on MC Shy D's side, he was saying some clever things. The way he set up certain verses and certain rhymes, the subject matter of what he talked about, um, it made you pay attention. That's tricky, because I definitely see the innovation on this album, and it's not heavy on my replay list. It's a bit of an acquired taste, you know what I mean? But it still hits the points of certain hoods. Like if you from the Bronx, there's certain records on this that you're gonna be like, all right, I like this. This is that shit. And then if you from Miami, you're gonna be like, oh, I really like these records. So it's a perfect fusion in between. And if you just kind of in the middle, you just gotta appreciate what you can appreciate, and that's the samples. The samples are definitely like bring you in. Not a whole lot of records that I'll come back to, but I'm sure for that time it had a bigger replay value. I'll just play it safe on that one and go with a 5. I feel like for people at that time, it had more replay value than it does today. Just another person that added to that list of party starters, and who was pushing the wave of the pen a little bit, because he definitely was, most of his rhymes was, braggadocious on either himself or his DJ, but he started to reveal important facts about hip hop, and he really did like give up a lot of early history on hip hop. And if you pay attention to the words he's saying in certain records, he's giving you the story. He's giving you all the early stories of how hip hop came to like his microphone. On the lyrics tip, he's one of those people I would say is a swag artist, man. He's not a super lyrical guy, MC Shy D, but his swag, man, you can tell he was a cool dude. He can carry records just with the way he say something and the way his swag is. It's not my favorite album lyrically, but it's some shit that you could definitely bob to. We go with a 4. We got the results back. This album scored a 45, which is an album that's got to grow on you. It's one of those albums that, for the time, I'm sure it was some records that jumped out depending on how it was marketed. But once it came out and you bought it, I feel like it served the time well, but it's not a timeless album for me. It's shocking at points with how it catches you. This album would be like a C+. A C+ album. It's not bad. Okay, so the two songs, the first song, it would have to be Yes Yes Y'all. The sample on it is pretty dope. That piano hook, that sample is just it's so iconic, and it captivates you, and the beat just works. The song that you would come to this album for me to listen to, if I was to come back and listen to a song, I've Got to Be. The second one, that Earth, Wind and Fire sample. There's no way around that. So the goats right there. Once you put an Earth, Wind and Fire in something, it's like, damn, you're cheating. Shout out to the Bronx. Shout out to Miami. I love Miami. Shout out to Uncle Luke. Shout out to the 2 Live crew. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, or just keep watching on Instagram, and Facebook and Twitter, and it doesn't matter. Just keep an eye on it. Let me know too if you want to see a particular album, reviewed that you don't know about. Send me some stuff. Get at me. We're gonna work it out. I gotta get out of here. We're done.